guys, it's Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, Soph Reads Books. Today we're sitting outside with my dog Toby, who is being distracting and weird, and we're going to be talking about my top 12 books that I want to read these holidays. I have 6 weeks holiday in the middle of winter, so I'm just going to be sitting and reading the entire time and just be curled up. But yeah, so today, like, the reason I'm filming outside is just it's so cold in my house today and the lighting is terrible, so I just thought that we would film outside for something a little bit different. So to start off my reading plan, I really want to finish the Grisha Trilogy and read Ruin and Rising, because I started Shadow and Bone in December of 2015, like not so long ago, but I do just want to finish the series and move on to some of Leigh Bardugo's other writing. But yeah, basically this trilogy is a fantasy trilogy, and a lot of people have like kind of like special skills, kind of, it's not meant to be magic, but it's kind of like magic. So, you know, some people can summon wind, water, all that sort of stuff, or you know, stop people's hearts, all that sort of stuff, and it's really interesting. Siege and Storm, the second book, just kind of left me like wanting more. Like I really wanted to pick this one up straight away, but it was like you know, I had a lot of uni stuff on, so I just haven't got to it yet. So I really want to pick this one up probably in the next week or so. The next book I want to pick up is starting a new series, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I honestly don't know too much about this other than somebody can break into people's minds, and I don't really want to know much about this. I just want to jump in. I have heard really great things, and I have this book and the second book, and the third book comes out in March, so it's not too far away now. But yeah, I really just want to jump into those and read them soon. Another series that I really want to start and was planning to start this year, so I'm just going to jump into it now, is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkowski. And all I know is this is a fantasy with a kick-ass female character who is really strong-willed, and I know there's no magic in this fantasy world, which is really interesting. So yeah, plus I love these covers. Like, I'm so glad that they didn't change them. Another series that I want to finally start this year, hopefully really soon, is Shatter Me by Tahera Murphy, and all I know is this is sort of a dystopian about a girl whose touch is lethal, and to start with, she is like held by the government as a weapon. So yeah, it sounds really cool, and I hear Whitney over at Witty Novels talk about it and rave about it all the time, so it's about time that I read it. I'm also really keen to pick up the first book in the His for Assassin trilogy, and that is Grave Mercy by Robin Lefevers. And I don't really know much about this, except it sounds like France is involved and it's got assassins, so I'm down for that straight away, and I have the whole trilogy, so yeah, I should probably pick this one up. Another series that I really need to continue and hopefully finish this year is the Darkest Minds trilogy. So I really want to pick up Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and this is the second book in the Darkest Minds trilogy, and it's to do with kids, kind of a dystopian world where kids basically develop some sort of powers. So, you know, some could control people or control minds or read minds. So yeah, I just really want to jump into this one and hopefully finish these holidays so I can move into In the Afterlight and finish it this year, because it's been over a year since I read The Darkest Minds, which is ridiculous. Another series that I'm keen to continue on with is the Snow Like Ashes series, and this is the second book, Ice Like Fire by Sarah Rush. This is an awesome fantasy series, and so basically each sort of country has their own like seasonal weather. So, you know, the Winter Kingdom is always in winter, the Spring Kingdom is always in spring, etc, etc. And there's a lot of political stuff, there's a lot of magical stuff, and honestly it is just fantastic. It has twists that you're just like, what? And yeah, I want to read this one before the third book comes out in November, and yeah, I'm really excited to get to it. Another book that I have been eagerly anticipating for ages and ages and ages is Irene Bone by Julie Eschbaugh. Yeah, it's basically it's a prehistoric fantasy romance, which sounds really interesting, and I've never read anything like that. So yeah, and I have been talking to the author a lot over social media, and she's lovely, and I really want to support her. So yeah, I want to jump into this one. It's not super long, which is like a good thing and a bad thing, because I'll probably want more, but it is the first in a duology, so I'm hoping that I will love it. and I'm so lucky I have a nice signed book plate that's to me, and that's so lovely, and I love her so much. That was so lovely of her. So I really want to get to this book and hopefully do a review of it in the next few weeks. Like, I'm really excited to jump into this one. Another book that is the first in a series that I really want to get to before deciding about, like, it's a book that I think I'd like, but I don't want to pick up the second book yet because I haven't read the first book. But yeah, so I want to read Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. It's like Alexander the Great kind of fantasy story, and it looks like there's going to be like several point of views, and I don't know, I've read a few Alex the Great stories and really enjoyed them, so I'm really hoping that this will be one that I like, but I just want to read this one hopefully before the second book comes out on the 28th of June, and if I like this one, I will definitely be picking up the second one. So, continuing on, I have 3 more series that I really want to start this year. So again, another series I'm dying to start, and I've had it on my TBR for like nearly a year now, and I just haven't read it because I'm silly, is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. All I know really is like, yeah, Romeo and Juliet meets ancient Rome meets fantasy, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up yet, but I really want to pick it up and just devour it before A Torch Against the Night comes out in August. And yeah, I'm hoping that I'll love it because I've heard just incredible things about it and I still haven't picked it up. I don't know, but yeah, I need to read this one. Another book that I kind of want to pick up, but at the same time I'm terrified that I'm not going to like it because I've seen mixed reviews about this book, is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. And I know a lot of people say that there's a lot of like typical YA tropes in there, and that kind of scares me off a little bit, but at the same time it's being turned into a movie, so I do want to read it at some point, so why not read it now? And I do have the second book and the novellas, so I may as well just pick it up. But yeah, it's a fantasy about you got Silverbloods, which are like the people in power, and Redbloods, which are just like the commoners. And Redbloods aren't meant to have powers, but Silvers do. And then one day, this character, Mare, she's a red, she discovers that she has a power, so it kind of goes from there. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of reluctant to jump into this just because I'm terrified that I'm not going to like it, but I still, in saying that, I still need to read it and just see what I think. Lastly, on my holiday TBR is one that people are going to be like, why the heck haven't you read this yet? That is Laini Taylor's Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and I have not read it yet, and that's terrible because I've had it on my shelf for a year. I got back into reading after having years and years off, like with school and uni. I sort of got back into reading and buying books about March last year, and I bought this. This is one of the first ones that I actually bought, and I still haven't read it. And I've heard amazing things about it, but I think I'll be planning on marathoning the entire trilogy before September, when Laini Taylor's new series starts, because I've got that on pre-order already and I know that I'm gonna love it. But yeah, I just need to read this one, and I'm not entirely sure why I haven't yet. And yeah, but all I know, is like a fantasy set in like Czechoslovakia type region, and it's kind of like an angel story, but not like angels and demons, and just really good fantasy. I've heard the writing is amazing, so that alone would just get me hooked on this book. So yeah, I'm hoping to jump into this one the next few weeks as well. So overall, I do have more than 12 books that I want to get to these holidays. I work part-time, but I'm hoping like I'll still have heaps of time to read and everything. But yeah, I would love to know if you guys have any TBR videos for your like summer holidays or winter holidays, depending on where you are in the world. And just, yeah, let me know what's on your TBR, or please let me know if I shouldn't read these books. Like, I'm gonna read them anyway, but you know, let me know what you thought of them. No spoilers though. Yeah, and I will see you guys next time. I think they're in my code.